So, this is a recipe about what borders can do to food. The dish here on the left is from Yunnan, China's southwest corner, and the dish on the right is from Lanna, Thailand's mountainous north. Centuries past, borders in this whole region used to be a lot more abstract than they are today, but times, of course, change. So, maybe as an analogy, take one species of animal and then add in some sort of barrier to split the population. As we all learn in school, after some time from that division, new species can end up forming. The question is, does the same thing happen to foods too? Well, in Thailand, this dish is called Cho Phak Kat. It's a staple in the north of the country, an everyday dish that's got the same sort of cultural resonance as like a pad krapao in Bangkok or maybe spaghetti and tomato sauce in the USA. In China, meanwhile, this is a dish called Suan. It's a Yunnan specialty tucked on menus together with stuff like grandma's mashed potatoes or grilled goat cheese. It's common to find in old school Thai banquets down at Bana, but it's particularly great, in my opinion, to go along with some late night Yunnan barbecue, downed with maybe one too many snow. Now, I do want to try to be clear here. Neither of us know the history of this specific dish. It's the type of thing that's probably lost to time. But the similarities between Cho Phak Kat and Suan are kind of hard to ignore. You boil some pork bones or ribs to make a bit of a base, and then you stew some greens in it. Then you add in some sort of intense sour component and serve it together along with garlic and chili pepper. In Yunnan, fresh for both, and in Thailand, fried for both. And sometimes they're even made with the exact same vegetable, and practically always some kind of brassica. So, today, we'll let you see these two approaches for yourself, show you the cultural context, and let you draw your own conclusions. But because this is a cooking channel, and unfortunately both versions have some regional ingredients that are probably a little difficult to find outside of this corner of the world, we also decided to get a little creative and use the same cross-border fundamentals to whip up a third Western supermarket version to be enjoyed within a Western food, or at least American, I guess, cultural context. So, for all of these, to be clear, the essence of this dish is to use whatever stewing vegetable you have. Don't go to the end of the earth mimicking the exact vegetable. That's not the point. Use what's local and cheap. In northern Thailand, that is something called pakat jon. It's known in the rest of the country as guandong vegetable, called that way because it really kind of looks like a choysum, but is totally not a choysum, and is a vegetable that really does want to be stewed. In Yunnan, however, there's a diversity. You can actually also see the same pakat jon sometimes, but the most common site would probably be something called xiao ku tsai, which I think might actually be rapini. We unfortunately can't get either in Bangkok, though, so today we went with chun sai, a type of hardy lettuce that's another common stewing green in Yunnan. Then, for our Western supermarket version, our choice today was kale. If I was back in the US, I'd probably go with something cheaper, collard greens, maybe the aforementioned rapini. But this is the Western stewing green that we can personally get. It actually is a really nice vegetable for this dish, albeit obviously overpriced. Now, as we said, both of these vegetable dishes are sour at their core. For the Thai version, it leans on what's probably the sour flavoring agent in Thai cooking, and that's tamarind. Here we've got a half a stick, or about 20 grams of pulp, mixed with a quarter cup of hot boiled water, and you can just let that sit until you're at the final seasoning. For the Yunnan version, there's a couple ways that people get there. Sometimes it's fermented bamboo shoots, sometimes something called nan suan zao, but the most common is with this ingredient, suan mu gua, aka Chinese quince. This is a very sour fruit with a nice mellow fruitiness that's probably not internationally available, but you might be able to find it at, of all places, a Korean grocer. Then for our Western supermarket version, after some internal debate, the direction we decided to go here was with citrus. Whether lemon or lime, however, it is a lot sharper, so we decided to supplement that with a quarter cup of sauerkraut for a little bit of fermented depth. Now, For all these versions, we're going to be working from a base of pork bones. You can also use pork ribs if those are easier to get. We'll start them all exactly the same. Take 1.75 liters of cool water, toss in about 350 grams of pork, and get it all up to a boil. Skim, and once you're content that the foam is mostly gone, cover and simmer for 15 minutes. Now, at this point, for the Thai version, we'll be breaking out the mortar. This was just 40 grams of garlic. This stuff is that really cool, tiny, flavorful Thai garlic, but garlic's obviously okay too. Pounded until roughly this consistency. Reserve half of that for later, and then add in 4 shallots cut in half, 1 tablespoon of shrimp paste, and a half teaspoon salt, and then pound those all together. Once it's pasty, add all that to the soup together with your guandong vegetable. Cover and let that boil for about 30 to 40 minutes until soft. Then, as that's going, thing number 2 to pound up is this, an awesome ingredient called to nao. What it is a sort of quick fermented soybean that's then pounded, formed into sheets, and then dried. It's the type of thing that you generally have to toast before using, but a nice trick, actually, is to do so in the microwave. 90 seconds, medium power. Then just toss that into a mortar and pound it into a powder. Sub-wise, there is probably no perfect sub here, but to be frank, the dominant flavor, I think, is mostly toasted nuttiness here. So outside Thailand, I might try reaching for some roasted soybean flour. Either way, once the vegetable is good and soft then, season it with 1 teaspoon MSG, half teaspoon sugar, optional half teaspoon roti Thai seasoning powder, then add in the pounded to nao, strain in the tamarind juice, and then heat off. So, now let's back up to the Yunnan version. Now, there's a lot less moving pieces here, so once our pork was cooked, we'll just toss in a quarter teaspoon salt, a hunk of smashed ginger, 7 pieces or 10 grams of the Suan mu gua, 4 small tomatoes cut in half, and, of course, the vegetable. Then just boil that until it's soft, which for chun sai takes about 45 minutes. Then season with another quarter teaspoon salt, quarter teaspoon MSG, half teaspoon chicken bouillon powder, and then this is good to serve. Then, for the Western version, we decided to hew kinda close to the Yunnan approach. More on why in just a second. Either way, just toss in a quarter teaspoon salt, a hunk of smashed ginger, 4 tomatoes cut in half, a quarter cup of sauerkraut, 2 sprigs of cilantro, and then all your chopped kale. Then just boil that until it's soft, which for kale takes about 1 hour. Then season with a half teaspoon MSG, and finally hit it with the juice from half a lemon. And then this is also good to serve. Now, at this point, the Thai version usually finishes things off with some fried garlic and chilies. So, over a low flame, quickly fry about 6 or 7 dried chilies until they're crisp, about 4 minutes, and then scoop them out. Then, same oil, over a medium flame, now add in that reserved garlic from before, and fry it for about 5 minutes, or until they're just barely starting to get golden. Once they're at that point, heat off, continue to stir fry for 1 more minute. Then top the Cho Phak Kat with the fried garlic, a nice handful of chopped cilantro, the fried chilies, and optionally a drizzle of that chili/garlic oil all over everything. Then, for the Yunnan version, again, this is also a little simpler. Just top it with some cilantro, some minced raw garlic, and some chopped spicy chilies. That said, something that you could also see in Yunnan is a simple Yunnan-style dipping sauce to go along with this. So let's just whip one up just in case that idea speaks to you. So, to a small bowl, just toss in 1 teaspoon roasted chili flakes, half teaspoon minced garlic, half teaspoon minced spicy chilies, about 1.5 tablespoons of chopped cilantro, about the same amount of chopped culantro, a teaspoon of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon MSG, a quarter cup of your soup, mix that well, and then serve it on the side. And again, for our Western supermarket one, we were hewing reasonably close to the Yunnan style. So same topping, but we'll slightly alter the dipping sauce with these components instead. Again, just in case you did want to go that route. So, in northern Thailand, this is a send the sticky rice down sort of dish. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what I mean by that, in northern Thailand, Isan, Shan State, Myanmar, Laos, it's sticky rice that's the staple grain. Now, the way you eat a meal around sticky rice is a ton of fun. For me, it's right up there with family style with chopsticks and stuff inside of tortillas as one of the world's great eating systems. Basically, you take some sticky rice, form it into a little ball or saucer in your hand, and then use that to grab and consume the main dish. In the grand scheme of things, I'd rate it roughly burger/roti level on the eating system dryness scale. And for this dish, it can be basically a one-person meal in and of itself. You'll have some sticky rice, the vegetable, the soup, and you can also eat some bites with that spicy fried chili, and maybe enjoy everything alongside some deep-fried pork or northern Thai sausage. The Yunnan version, meanwhile, is kind of on the other side of the sticky rice line. Of course, in Yunnan, people love their sticky rice, but rice is cheaper, and these days at least, that is usually the staple grain. So Yunnan meals will usually look a good bit closer to what you'd see elsewhere in China. Small dishes, sending down some rice, a vegetable being among them. So in Yunnan, this exists as one vegetable dish among an assortment of dishes. Just like how shotzi bao cai is a vegetable dish in Sichuan, just like how furu ong choy is a vegetable dish in Guangdong. It's often paired with richer or meatier stuff, like the aforementioned barbecue. So then we were thinking that the Western version could maybe also exist in a similar way. Maybe you've got a potluck or a cookout, and the mains are meaty and rich. So this vegetable, I think, could slot in nicely right next to some fried chicken, right next to some biscuits, cut a bit of that richness, that sort of deal.
So besides the Chinese and the Thai version, there's also seems to be the sour vegetable in Myanmar from north to south. And they seem to have like a whole developed systems of how to eat around it in Myanmar. But we are not sure about it. Any people from Myanmar, let us know in the comment section. But we did manage to nab our friend Pee-wee, who's from Myanmar, to teach us how to make the version from her hometown. So if you're curious, you can check out our Substack post. We have a rough recipe there. So right, as always, recipes in the description box. A big thank you for everyone that's supporting us on Patreon. And of course, subscribe for more Chinese cooking videos.